just to say thank you very much to all of you for joining us this morning. The Nigeria Prize for Science, sponsored by LCCI-NLNG, is indeed the most prestigious and highest prize money, or highest prize in terms of monetary value in Africa today. Ab initio, the prize was designed to provide leaders with answers to crucial issues in development. One, to improve standard of living, and two, to re-energize the scientific community to seek solutions to national problems. LCCI-NLNG Limited initiated the Science Prize in 2004. It was welcomed by the science community with an ovation when it was launched. Prior to this period, the important section of our society, and in this case the science community, that was supposed to drive the wheel of our national development seemed to have been forgotten, uncelebrated, demotivated, and relegated to the background. The prize brought back Nigerian scholars, scientists, and researchers to the limelight. The prize continues to celebrate our breakthroughs, their breakthroughs, and appreciate the efforts they invest daily in research for the good of mankind in general, and particularly for the good of Nigeria. It has, above all, recognized their immense contributions to national development by awarding the best as the winner of the prize. From the power sector to road construction, from information technology to food security, the prize has encouraged and harvested innovations that are ready to help turn our national developmental challenges into opportunities for us as a nation. That these improvements bring about positive developmental changes in our country. Yes, change in terms of prize money, value of the prize that goes to those who have entered, the quality of work they have entered, benefit from the application of the winning entry. Society must be greatest winner at all times. And in this case, the works you'll be listening to today and the presentation from the winners will attest to the fact that they've done a lot to ensure that processes, changes, and of course opportunities exist in ensuring that we as a nation begin to meet the needs, one, in terms of food demand, and two, in terms of food security. We are confident that the wealth of experience of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a famous jewel in our country's organized private sector, and the skill and knowledge of its members will be the catalyst for the research findings of the 2022 cycle of the Nigeria Prize for Science. LCCI-NLNG will continue to partner with the business community, the academia, and host communities towards encouraging research and ensuring that findings contribute.
The commitment of LNG Limited to helping to build a better Nigeria has never been in doubt. And yes, over the years, Nigeria LNG Limited has successfully walked the talk. And yes, interesting remarks from the GM, External Relations and Sustainable Development at LNG. Society must be the greatest winner at all times. That is a very, very insightful statement. And yes, the joint winners for last year solved problems around food demand and food security. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to beg your indulgence. Please give the GM, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Nigeria LNG Limited, Mr. Andy Ode, another round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for those opening remarks. Thank you. All right, moving very quickly, we'd like to take words from our co-host, the President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Shiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. And yes, those words will be delivered by none other than the Deputy President, LCCI, Mr. Gabriel Idaosa, FCA. Round of applause for him as he takes the stage. Please keep the applause coming until he gets on stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Timmy has eminently established a protocol, and it's for me to welcome you on behalf of the President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, distinguished gentlemen of the press. It's a great privilege for us at LCCI to host this event in advancing innovations in sustainable food security. There's no better time to gather over a topic like this than the threat of destructive flooding and droughts that face us in Nigeria due to climatic change. This is also coming at a time where Nigeria is grappling with a surging food inflation at 23.75%, which has been the main driver of Nigeria's high headline inflation, which is now, or at the last count, was 21.34%. It is worthy of note that Nigerians on the average spend more than 50% of their incomes on food alone, while they also face high cost of energy. The challenges highlighted above are the reasons why we need innovations in sustainable food systems to guarantee food security in Nigeria. We need scientific exploits in the field of agriculture to beat the emerging effects of climate change. The awardees we celebrate today have distinguished themselves with a show of unrivaled intellectual capacity that has led to innovative discoveries in agriculture and food security. In the face of threatening weather conditions, we need new methods, tools, and infrastructure to cope with emerging challenges in agriculture. We should therefore celebrate the winners of the Nigeria LNG 2022 Nigeria Prize for Science, and we say congratulations to the awardees. The Lagos Chamber has consistently collaborated with reputable organizations like the LNG to promote programs that enhance the business environment, citizens' welfare, and stability in the economy. We congratulate the chairman and members of the Science and Technology Committee of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry on this successful collaboration with the Nigeria LNG Limited in organizing this interactive session with winners of the 2022 Nigeria Prize for Science. This prize celebrates excellence in scientific breakthrough and honors scientists from anywhere who help find solutions to a local or Nigerian need as defined and advertised by the advisory board for the prize. And the winners were conditions, and to Cesar Peter Ayodeji and Emmanuel Olatunje Ulutumilola for their work on the development of processing plant for plantation flower in a highly coveted prize for innovations in science. The winners have truly distinguished themselves with these innovative discoveries. I wish you all a very fruitful engagement as we profile the contributions of these scholars and their breakthroughs for the well-being of Nigerians and humanity as a whole. On behalf of our President, Asiwaju Michael Olaole Cole, CON, I welcome you to LCCI.
For an organization set up to promote and protect trade and industry, you will agree with me that the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has done a commendable work in representing the business community in matters of trade and industry. And yes, this event also provides the opportunity to explore the commercial avenues that exist based on the research works of our winners. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Deputy President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gabriel Idausa, FCA. Another round of applause for him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for those words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving very, very quickly, we have a documentary that will be played about now. So fasten your seatbelts, relax, and focus your eyes on the screen. as we watch this documentary. This, of course, is an opportunity to showcase Nigeria LNG's contributions towards the development of science and technology in Nigeria. Media team, over to you.
I'm from a very humble background, and one of the incidents of going to grind pepper took off one of my fingers. Of course, I wanted to check what is making the bed to roll, and that brought my interest into mechanical engineering. The work came as a result of people picking food poisoning. Not too long ago, we heard of a whole family perish as a result of what they bought to the market, and they prepared and they ate. And everybody died because it has poison. We just look at it. Can't we produce this flour in an hygienic, way? Secondly, the blackish nature of plantain flour that makes some people, despite the nutritional value, to run away from it. My partner, that's Dr. Emmanuel Olutomilola, approached me to take up his PhD work. Of course, he has been a colleague in the same department, and I told him if he's willing to work, and we moved on. Of course, he did his PhD on this work.
When I saw this particular project, I was excited about that, seeing that this is going to make a very heavy impact on the society.
This is the plan for processing unripe plantain into flour. The process plant starts with loading of either peeled or unpeeled unripe plantain into the upper here. And from there, the washing session takes it up by conveyor system. And that takes it to the grating session here.
This one is unique in the sense that all the processes that are being in modular form has been brought together to achieve a single goal, and with a minimal human intervention.
Money is the major challenge. We got institutional-based research grants, that fund, 1.6 million. That was not even enough to produce just the rotary drive. And we started looking for, means of sourcing for fund.
Also, collaboration with master's students and money from personal pockets and all of that went into that to be able to make it a reality.
The point we felt.
What the prize means to me is more or less like a trigger to do more work.
Some people have done great works that they are discouraged. They are not showcasing. But now that a group is coming out as a messiah to say, you are not forgotten, we want to encourage you in our own little way, I tell you, it will push people to do more.
I was born
That was the first part, and that showed the first winning entry.
The company began to supply of domestic LPG cooking gas to mitigate the scarcity of the commodity and the attendant high cost of the local market in 2007. Nigeria LNG sponsors manpower and infrastructure development initiatives, the latest being the 38-kilometer Bonny-Bodo Road project in a partnership deal with the federal government. Nigeria LNG initiated multi-million-dollar corporate social responsibility initiatives beyond its host and pipeline communities.
All right, that was a very, very interesting documentary, and it showcased the first winning entry, development of process plants for plantain flour, by the duo of Professor Sheson Peter Ayodeji and Dr. Emmanuel Olutomilola. Ladies and gentlemen, please, another round of applause for them. Thank you very much. right. At this point, we will take words from the chairman of the Advisory Board for Science, Professor Bath Inaji, and yes, those words will be delivered by none other than former two-time Honorable Minister of Industry, Federal Republic of Nigeria, former President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, member, Advisory Board, the Nigeria Prize for Science. Please make welcome to the stage Chief Dr. Nike Akonde, CON. A round of applause for her. Please keep the applause coming until she gets on stage as we take the remarks from the Chairman, Advisory Board for Science, Professor Bath Inaji.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, MC, you've done a good job. You've done the recognition. But I would crave the indulgence of the audience to recognize some people, especially. So bear with me. I am here to represent the chairman of the advisory board. He has given me a speech to read. I will try and do my best to read it. If it is very well delivered, the credit goes to him. If not, I'll take full responsibility for this. Thank you. Mr. Andy Ode, GM External Relations of Sustainable Development, Nigeria LNG. Ashiwaju, Dr. Michael Olawale, CON, President, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is being represented here by the Vice Deputy President, LCCI, Mr. Gabriel Idawusa, FCA. You know I'm in my territory there. So if I don't recognize them, they won't give me all the recognition that I deserve. Dr. Chinyere Almona, FCA, our dynamic, vibrant, hardworking DG of LCCI. LCCI Council members here present. Our respected Professor Baba Abubakar, Member, Advisory Board of Science for Science, LNG for Science, Mrs. Anne Marie Palma Ikuku. This lady, I must recognize her. She's so hardworking. She's always keeping me in touch with whatever is happening at LNG. She's Manager Corporate Affairs and Public Affairs Division. Mr. Adeyemi Yemi, Head, Media Relations. Mr. Dapo Olakulenyi, General Manager, Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, representing the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the vigilant press. No, I have the speech of the chairman. So please listen carefully. I didn't prepare it. I'm just going to read it. September 2022, the Advisory Board for the Nigeria Prize for Science announced 2 distinguished outstanding works for the coach, relevant to the theme in focus. The Advisory Board was particularly pleased that in evaluating the entries, the judges upheld the objectives of the prize, which seeks to identify and promote excellence in utilizing scientific knowledge for the achievement of desired solutions. Today, on behalf of the Advisory Board and the Nigeria LNG Limited, I present to the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry the winning works and winners of the 2022 Nigeria Prize for Science. The works: gains in grains yield of released maize cultivars under drought and well-watered conditions by Muhyiddin Oyekunle and Shehu Ado, and development of process plant for plant flour by Sheson Peter Oyedeji and Emmanuel Olatunju Olutomilola are the joint winners of the $100,000 prize money for the NLNG Prize for Science. Give these people a big round of applause. I would love to be one of the winners. The money is quite attractive, isn't it? There are two components to this. There is one about machinery. By developing such equipment, we are making significant progress in the country. Then there is the technique of producing a product that will have a multiplier effect with lots of benefits. This interactive workshop is to raise awareness, and the press, I hope you are hearing this. Please let people know what LNG is doing. It is all about strategic view that this event will bring to the fore investment networks and harmonization of efforts to support agriculture in Nigeria. Nigeria LNG Limited, sponsors of the prize, have instituted this annual award as a corporate social responsibility initiative. While thanking NLNG, I implore you likewise to support NLNG in sustaining this drive of helping to build a better Nigeria. Thank you very much. Signed by Professor Bat Naju, CON, Chairman, Advisory Board for the Prize for Science. I hope I have delivered the message well. Thank you very much.
Indeed, $100,000 is a lot of money. And yes, that is a very, very good incentive to ensure that, yes, our winners continue to provide services to the nation that address local problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we must at this time commend the Advisory Board for Science for the commendable work they have been doing over the years to administer the Nigeria Prize for Science on behalf of Nigeria LNG Limited. Please give her another round of applause. Thank you very much, ma'am. Chief Dr. Nike Akonde, CON, for delivering that message on behalf of the Chairman Advisory Board for Science, Professor Bath Naji. Thank you very much for the work that the board does. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please fix your eyes on the screen as we watch the concluding part of the documentary. This will be the second winning entry for last year's prize. Media team, over to you.
A peasant farmer. Since when I was a child, I was dreaming to be a farmer. I believe to be a farmer is something very, very important because you not only feed yourself, but also you feed others. My work is on the genetic improvement of maize varieties. In the program of variety improvement for maize, we conduct research in a way that new varieties are developed. There are issues of nutritional quality. There are diseases and pests. With the issue of climate change, rampant droughts, all these challenges form part of the objectives of our research to identify genotypes or genetic materials that can withstand these challenges.
Basically, what we do is that we cross good by good. Maybe good, particular varieties is good in one trait, and then another material is also good in another trait. We want to have a complementary product that can combine the two goods into one.
My colleague, Dr. Oyekunle, I actually met him at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. We knew each other because at the IITA he was working in the maize unit.
Now I'm ready for pollination. Just shake it and then remove. So I have my pollen. This is the line I want to pollinate. Dust the pollen on it. And then somebody is already ready to cover it.
Over the years, the varieties we developed, which had to do with the farmers, had actually contributed to the productivity of maize in the country. As soon as a new variety is developed by the breeder and that the variety has been approved, then one will feel confident that his work has not been in vain. We have been here 42 years ago. I am not only contributing to the national productivity, but also to the regional food security.
That was the second winning entry at the last year's edition of the Niger Prize for Science. And yes, gains in grain yield of reduced maize, maize cultivars under drought and well-watered conditions. Joined winning team Professor Shil Ado and Dr. Muhyiddin Oyekule. Ladies and gentlemen, you will do well to give them another round of applause. All right, just before we move to the first paper presentation for today, I want to beg the indulgence of those who are sitting behind the cameramen. Please just move forward a little bit, just occupy the seats in front so that as we have more people joining, there will be very, very minimal distraction. Ushers, please help us with that. Please just help us make that migration very, very quickly so that that process can be quite seamless. Thank you very much. Just help us occupy the seats in front. Yes, if you're directly behind the cameras, please ensure that you just move forward a little bit so we can have a more compact room. Remember, this is supposed to be an interactive forum, so yes, our winners will have paper presentations and there will be an opportunity to ask them questions. So as we listen to the paper presentations, please ensure that you take down notes. There will be an opportunity to ask questions, and yes, they will be on hand to provide answers to those questions. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I promise that, yes, we will be able to make quick work of these presentations as we showcase the winners of the Niger Prize for Science 2022 edition. Thank you. As you comply and cooperate. Thank you very much, our excellent ushers, for helping us to make that happen. All right, switching gears right about now, we have the first paper presentation to be delivered, and yes, that is development of process plant for plantain flour. Winning duo of Professor Sheson Ayodeji, and Dr. Emmanuel Olatunji Olutomilola. And to deliver that presentation on behalf of the winning duo, please join me to welcome Dean, College of Engineering and Technology, Achievers University, Owo, and Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa, Professor Sheson Peter Ayodeji. Round of applause for him as he takes the stage. Remember, after this session, there will be an opportunity to ask questions. So yes, as we receive those presentations, please ensure that you put down your questions. Thank you.
Well, I would like to adopt the well-established protocol, but very specially, I want to acknowledge and I appreciate the Nigerian Prize for Science Advisory Board, the chairperson and the members, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the powerful people of the press. As already announced, my name is Sheson Peter Ayodeji. On behalf of my one-time student, now my colleague, and other members of our research team, I want to quickly run through a few slides while waiting for maybe questions to make clarifications later. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Development of process plan for plantain flour production. Please end poverty. 2.47 billion people around the world live on less than $2 per day. They are crying. Stop hunger. Every 3.6 seconds, a person dies of hunger. And 75% of these people are children. The population is increasing, soaring. By 2048, we are likely going to eat 9 billion. The World Poverty Clock reported that 86.9 million of its estimated 180 million, representing nearly 50%, Nigerians now living in extreme poverty. And the report further stated that the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal to end extreme poverty by 2030 is unlikely to be met, especially in Nigeria. Nigeria has overtaken India as the country with the most extreme poor people in the world. Why? If you don't plant. If you allow anything that is growing in your compound, if you will not uproot them, you have a yield no matter how little in almost every part of this nation. This report is not good for us. Please move on. Are you with me, or you give me a pointer? My time is very short. Sorry.
system is hanging. So, how do we ensure food security? What do we do to entrench self-sufficiency in food production? That's the question. Can I do something with plantain? At least to reduce the problem that we have just little. If I want to go with that, statistics, it's so scary. Plantain is fourth most important crop on earth. Plantain is crucial to the food security and livelihood of many people in Nigeria. Nigeria is the 5th leading plantain producer in the world. Demand for plantain flour is rapidly increasing due to its health and nutritional benefits, industrial and commercial relevance. So, the need to focus on this plant. What actually motivated us to embark on this work? The management of type 2 diabetics that have been affirmed scientifically that plantain, the unripe plantain, produce. The flour quality and quantity improvement so that you won't heat amala, and from there you go to, great hell beyond. To mitigate the plantain post-harvest losses. After the thing gets ripe, what happened is, destroyed. Some people may mix it together, but the real value is gone. Of course, the food security, which is very important. Then to curb the glut, that is the price instability. During the rush, you will see, people buying plantain very cheap. And this is discouraging. Those who are cultivating it will not really find value for what they have put in. Then value addition. We can have snacks from plantain. You can only do that when you have the flour and other additives. You can fortify it. You can get a lot of snacks from it. Economic diversification, if we have, the land and we have a good weather condition, why can't we, go into agriculture and plantain, production, job creation, improvement of livelihood? Since Nigeria is one of the leading producers of plantain in the world, we need to develop technology for processing it into flour and other, storable products to ensure its availability and quality all the year round. So, and this will also promote local content initiative made in Nigeria, used or eaten in Nigeria by Nigerians, and we can take it, to other parts of the world. Don't let me bother you much on the causes of post-harvest food losses. But limited food preservation capacity, poor food preservation techniques, poor food processing techniques. Food processing techniques have to be improved upon, mechanized, and automated. Why? To meet the demand for ever-increasing human population. Reduction of post-harvest losses of farm produce, reduce drudgery, improve food quality, improve production capacity, save time and minimize cost, complied with food safety regulations so that you won't eat and die. So what is our aim from this unripe plantain?
For instance, if you leave this one for like 5, 6 days, depending on the weather, most of even the nutritional value will have changed. You may eat dodo. Dodo is not the same as the unripe plantain. And if you leave it for 2, 3 weeks, it's gone. So we want to turn this valuable raw plantain to something packaged like that. That's all. And under acceptable condition. The process is long. Unripe plantain fruits, we peel, wash, we grate or particulate, as the case may be, and the reason for that is very scientific. There is problem with plantain. What makes it to be black, that makes amala to be black, is actually in the process, which can be removed. When you cut your plantain, it has what we call Kisadni effect. Immediately the surface looks as if it's dry, but the inside is not dry. So it takes a longer period before the inside will be dry, and in the process it becomes black. That's why you see black amala. If you process the raw plantain, if you can blend it, okay, and you prepare it the way you prepare your ugi, you will see a beautiful brownish amala rather than the black one. So grating will take that problem away. Then after that, we dry. Then milling and sieving, the cooling, the measuring or metering, and the packaging, then your plantain flour. This is more of engineering consideration. And since this is not an academic exercise, please let me spare you of the details there. This is the process plant which had been shown. And this captured the whole production process that I've just highlighted. From here, the peel one. We didn't really incorporate the peeling. Why? Because researches have shown that even the raw plantain, without peeling, okay, the bark serves as a digester, so to say, fiber, and it's good. The only reason is it might not really be appealing. The color is not really very appealing, but nutritionally is very good. So you can process without peeling. But for acceptability, we peel. And after that, we wash through the conveyor belt that is moving, and we have the jets of waters coming out to, wash the peeled plantain. It moves from there to the rotary dryer, that big drum-like shape you see there. Okay? From there, before getting there, it will be particulated, the grating I mentioned, after washing, at the end of that washing. Then it's dried in the rotary. The rotary is important so that it will not dry above the required temperature, lest you have destroyed the nutrients, okay, in it. So once it gets to that place, it goes into a pulverizer. Sorry, I don't have a pointer. A pulverizer is here. It pulverizes, and by suction, it takes it up and comes into this cooling chamber. It moves by conveyor system. And the flour is coming out from here. As you can see from the documentary, the other time it's coming. It comes into the metering section. And, of course, you have the bags of the flour rolling out from that end. That's, you have had a better picture during the presentation. The plant has capacity to produce 1,000 kilograms of plantain flour within 8 hours. That can be scaled up. We have to scale down when the load of the millions of naira required to produce it was weighing us down. We have to scale and scale and scale down. The cost of production of the process plant as at today, when this work was done, the part we concluded, we spent over 6 million in the production. But the prices of material we confirmed a week ago has taken from around 7 million to 15 million as at today. The whole plant will require just 15 kVA power to drive it, and a space of 72 meters square will be required. Academic outputs, one PhD student had been produced in mechanical engineering, 6 master students, and we had 12 journals. The list is in Q4. Then we have Q2 journals published in this work, 12 journals articles and 2 conferences produced as listed. I would like to acknowledge my university, the Federal University of Technology, Akure, for producing and providing the enabling environment to do this work. And the Nigerian liquefied natural gas, thank you very much. The sleeping giant in us had woken up. And I tell you, you may not really know the impact of what you have done. So many research teams had come up within that period of announcement to now. People saw hope. I'm not saying this to make you feel happy. I'm telling you the correct situation. People who had thrown away the ideas, you know, they have gone back to pick them up because they never knew it is possible that you don't know anybody. You just make an entry in Nigeria and, you know, your work is being recognized. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to TED Fund, who gave us 1.6 million in the research grant, and that helped us to start looking for money here and there too. So it was the initial motivation we got. Advanced Manufacturing and Applied Economics Research Team, that is the research team. The team members were shown. We have food experts, Professor T.N. Fagbemi, who is even a consultant to NAFDAC, is part of our research team to make sure that in a bid to solve problem, we don't create bigger problem. Our product can be acceptable. Other members as listed. Before I say that, thank you. We have challenges, as mentioned in the presentation. We want to mass produce. But if we want to go into this, then I will have to resign as a lecturer. Because there is no how I can go into mass production of this equipment that will be able to go to class again. So we need entrepreneur who will come in and we take the research, side, and they take the business side. Of course, we'll have expected that I will come up with a business case, for this work. I'm not an expert in that area, and I don't like messing myself up, in things I am not good at. So we need somebody who probably is interested whose area of expertise is to drive this to market. Thank you very much for your attention. And questions are welcome. Before I drop the microphone, we have a lot of other works in this area. That it's not, I will have come up with it, but that will be violating the rules of this gathering. We have Iru Cube production machine, process plant, the locust beans. We have it already produced. We have Roselu tea, like you have your green tea, the so-called Zobo. Our expert had produced it, and we have produced the machines to process it. We have Pando Yam process plant. I know the first thing is, what of Ayola? Ayola is operating with unit machines, not a process plant. We have a process plant design, but for money, we cannot. And lastly, vegetable powder 4, that will process any vegetable into powder with variable drying unit. Thank you very much once again. I appreciate you, sirs and ma'ams.
It has been interesting to learn of the unique applications to which plantain flour can be put. We'll take questions from the audience at this point. So if you have any questions, please just signify by raising your hand. The ushers will bring the microphone to you. So let's have those questions right about now. Any questions from any section of the hall, just raise your hand. The ushers will bring the microphone to you. Thank you. So just keep your questions short and go straight to the point.
Good morning, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Kagwari, a publisher of Newsgate magazine. Prof, I want to thank you so very much for the presentation that you have made. Very enlightening. I want to thank NLNG too for giving us this exposure and making this possible. My question is, but for this gathering, we will not be aware of these breakthroughs that you have achieved. And the challenge right now as a piece, I think, is one of funding investors and investments to come into your discoveries or the researches that you have reached, to take them to market, to make them available. So if we do not gather like this, how do we hear about these breakthroughs, these developments, these discoveries that you and your team have made? Because they're just lying down there. Apart from what we came here for, we've had so much more from you. What are you doing, you and your team doing, to make Nigerians aware, Nigerian businessmen, institutions, government, to be aware of these developments? Thank you.
I imagine that we'll take all the questions in one fell swoop. So any other questions, please? All right. We're moving to this side of the hall. Keep it short and simple, straight to the point. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Lawal Aisha for Zajim Enterprise. My question is about this value addition. You talk of snacks, for example, and we have plantain chips all over the place. And you are talking of not allowing the plantain to get to that level of overripe before consumption. So what kind of chips or snacks are we having out of the unripe plantain? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Afolabi Luatoyin from Lascoda, Lagos State Coconut Development Authority. My question is there a way we can work on the black color of the plantain, probably maybe using the hydrating machine to dry up the water contents of the plantain before running through the process? For eventually, maybe the black color can be reduced. That is my question, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Omeza Jegede. I just want to ask, looking at, we have several plantain flour in the market currently. And when you're going to the market, we need to look at the competitive edge you have. Now, using the process plants you've already outlined here, is there any competitive edge it may add that we don't actually have currently in the marketplace? Thank you.
One more question. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Prof. My name is Jobit Antonio. I'm already into planting flower and exporting to Canada. But right now, we have a 50-acre plantain farm in Norway. So we'd like to work with you. So after this event, we'll probably sit down together. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof, for that eloquent presentation. My name is Professor Ado Yusuf from the Institute for Agricultural Research, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Yeah, I would like to know whether your team or university has any collaboration with the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization, because they have the national mandate for mechanization of this kind of processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. My question is a big question about research and bringing them to the market. Does your university have an institution or a process? A lot of universities have either a capacity or a process where research like this goes to the market either through tech parks in the university where investors can come in and take space and then start to produce there, or the process of patenting to, first of all, to ensure that you can easily sell the research to industry. I would like to understand the process that your university in particular has, because you cannot rely on the individual efforts like you have done now through the help of Nigeria LNG.
Thank you.
So we'll take responses.
Thank you for all questions. I really appreciate. Let me take the first one. If we are not here, will not know anything about what you are doing. Well, that's the town and gown relationship that for a very long time had been eroded. The disconnect between the industry and the academy. And it's sad, because if I want to continue to do this, I won't be in class, and I won't bring in another idea. But the last question by, I've forgotten the name, sorry, please pardon me, for the last question. It's actually addressing the question of publicizing what has been done. And of course, we're already discussing with the university, but the problem is the university are really very limited in the aspect of fund too. You can't do any of this without really putting in, money. So they are really distracted with how are we going to cope with, the internal problem. That's not a good answer, but that is the reality. But we will improve to make sure we don't wait till a gathering like this before the needful is done. Thank you, sir. The value addition in the aspect of what type of snacks. Any snack that you can use flour to produce. This plantain flour can be used to produce it. What you need to add is what you will add to your normal, flour. Of course, it's not having the too much of starch like you will have in, and of course, which is good. At most, you introduce a binder if you need, to. So, any snacks that you. Okay. How the black color can be removed. Of course, it's already taken care of in that design. The outcome of the flour is not going to produce a black amala if you want to use it straight, or you are using it to produce any further product. The comparative edge that this is having over what is already in the market. That's the challenge, the initial challenge with new technology. If I want to produce this, just one unit, and I will use it, to produce, initially, it will be very difficult because this is not mass produced. So the cost of production will be high. So before you can break even, it is likely you are pushed out of market. That's the truth. But if we have it with correct business case, and you can produce more than what your manual production, okay, will give in the next 1-2 years. Don't forget, the technology is local. If any of these should break down, I will remove this, suit and pieces the whole thing and fix it. You don't need to bring in an expert from anywhere. I will fix it. And of course, you know the meaning of that. Most of these unit machines you bring from China, they have done it in a way that if it's having problem, if there's any code, any automation, you won't be able to fix it until you get, to them. And of course, you know the meaning of that. Downtime. You may not be able to produce if it's a line and several other, things that are associated with that. But you won't experience that here. Okay? If you need me within a very short time, I will be available. Okay? So that, okay, we don't have any agreement with that organization in my university because I am very close to the unit in that regard. So maybe immediately after this presentation, sir, I will see you. Thank you, sir. Patenting. Yes, we have submitted this for patenting. But of course, all these bottlenecks, you will submit for patenting. The group had one patent. We submitted 4. 3 came back with no adverse report. But that it has taken long. There is a new form. We should just use the new form. Then, when the result will come out, 1 was approved. No response on the 3 we wrote. By the time you get to know that you are only burning energy on nobody even at the other end, I'm sorry, talking this, but this is our experience. It's not from another person. And even the technology is becoming obsolete before you even get a response from. If you want to make it fast, you need a lot of money. You will hire an attorney who will help you drive it. And you know the meaning of that to a professor who is taking less than 400,000 naira, a month. You have a lot of, all those publications we paid. Only very few of them, maybe institutional-based journals that you don't have to pay. If you are going to Q1, Q2 journals, sometimes you pay as high as 500, dollars or $1,000 in some cases. So, and it's attached to our relevance. So we would rather put money in that than pursuing, things that people will only clap for you. So the patenting, we are working on that. And the university processor, we have a unit. So many people have been sending emails, send us the bill to produce this and that. By the time we engage them, to a point, it will almost become everyday affairs. We refer them to that unit, and at the end of the day, we won't even get anything, again. So, so many things are not really, right about getting things to the market. But from the questions and what we will put in after now with these, challenges, we hope that we're able to improve in that direction. Before I drop the microphone, there is one question written here. This is, okay, let's leave the compliments. Does the quality meet SON standard? That is a standard organization of Nigeria through NAFDAC. I just told us that we have an expert. We actually did the nutritional value test for the product, and it meets the standard. Okay? But if we want to approach NAFDAC, that will be only when we want to go to the market and be selling. And we are not, there yet. So we have not approached NAFDAC to come and check the quality of our product. But from the research, side, findings, it's perfectly okay for consumption. I don't know, maybe you have something to add?
Somebody asked a question about what type of sheep are produced in the market. When from unripe plantain, if it is ripe, plantain contains resistant starch, and that is why it's being used to manage type 2 diabetes. And once it is ripe, then the resistant starch become converted to sugar. So, and apart from that, processing plantain with the peel, that is the cover, is more beneficial because it contains fiber and other things to help you extract sugar from the body, to help you in the area of managing diabetes. And apart from that, processing plantain on time, when it gets into the machine, processing it on time will help you eliminate the blackish nature. And the research team has also worked on instant amala making machine. That is, you have your plantain, you blend it, and you stir it into a paste while heating it. Then you are going to have a very fine color, just like the color of this chair. So that is it. Thank you very much. And I believe that if there will be collaboration between industry, let industry come to the institution. We have a lot of ideas. And I believe that Nigeria can feed the world if we can develop technology for agriculture and processing our farm produce into finished products. Nigeria is going to stand out. And also believe if we have a change of mind, let's stop buying things from outside. Let's develop our own technology here. I believe it, that if Nigerians start thinking, develop mind means develop nation. When our minds are developed, then we are going to have things moving. I still believe I have hope for Nigeria. That Nigeria will stand out and become mighty and powerful. So, give me Nigeria and I will feed the world and tell other nations to face other areas of life. Thank you very much.
Yes, that promise of collaboration between industries and members of the academic community is that missing ingredient that Nigeria really needs on her path to. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the joint winning duo, Professor Sheso Ayodeji and Dr. Emmanuel Olufumilola. Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very, very much for your presentation. I trust that, yes, answers have been provided to all these questions that have been asked. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving very quickly. Remember, we still have a second paper presentation gains in grain yield of released maize. But just before we have that second paper presentation, we have a special dance presentation that will happen right about now. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Squad 1 Productions from the National Arts Theatre. A round of applause for them as they take the stage. Squad 1 Productions, over to you. Opportunities like this are very, very important. And yes, when we bring winners to the stage and have them stand before the public to present their research works, when we also ask members of the business community and investors to join them in the same room, it definitely provides an opportunity for that collaboration we need. And yes, that collaboration is indeed very, very critical to ensuring that we solve the local problems that exist in Nigeria. And yes, this is a very, very interesting presentation on food demand and food security. I'm sure that yes, when we listen to the second paper presentation, we will indeed be assured of the fact that yes, there is hope for this country as we continue to provide local solutions to our problems. Homegrown solutions to local problems, and yes, sooner than later, Nigeria will indeed be a giant in terms of industrialization. All right, Squad 1 Productions, over to you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this cultural dance presentation from Squad 1 Productions, all the way from the Nigerian Arts Theatre. Immediately they exit the stage, second paper presentation will run quickly. And just as before, we have that opportunity for questions and answers. Remember, as we listen to our joint winners speak, please ensure that you take notes, and after their presentations, we will open the floor for you to ask questions. We trust that, yes, answers, profitable responses appropriate to the questions asked be provided as you ask those questions.
yes. Greetings. Greetings to you, beautiful, respected inhabitants of the LCCI-NLNG Business Stakeholders Interactive Forum. Welcome once again to the land of milk and honey. Oh yes, Nigeria. Oh my Nigeria. The land rich in its beautiful, undiluted multicultural diversity.
Hey,
Can you hear that sonorous voice? It is the people from the Niger Delta, the children of the creeks, the children of the swamp. They are born, bred, and blessed by the waters. Oh yes, they are located at the South region. Very proud, rich, and respected. Do you know that the LCCI and NLNG have helped in the growth of Nigeria's economy, in agriculture, in transportation, construction, technology, energy, ranges of fishery and aquatic animals? And they are blessed with oil. Arise and applaud our tradition. Oh yes, the rich culture and heritage our forefathers have given us. Our people talk to say, wisdom, better than silver and gold. Wearing the truth on our necks, accepting all mankind, people from different colors, people from different races, people from different skin, and people from different tribes, from the north, the south, the east, and the west. Nigeria! Nigeria!
Nigeria is indeed blessed. Nigeria is a country that has a rich culture. And yes, you find that whether expressed through dance or music, there is always that rich sense of cultural diversity on display at every time. From all nooks and crannies of the nation, you have tribes representing their cultural affiliations in dance and in music all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Squad One Productions from the National Theatre. Allow me to beg your indulgence. Please give them another round of applause. That was a very, very energetic dance routine. And trust me, I can only imagine how many hours must have taken to perfect that routine. Yes, if you are not very, very nimble, it's all right. If you're not very, very nimble and flexible, it's all right. It's okay to just sit, relax, and enjoy the presentation as they strut their stuff. Yes. Thank you very much once again, Squad One Productions, all the way from the National Arts Theatre. Thank you very much for that presentation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be moving very, very quickly. And yes, we have the second paper presentation to be delivered. Yes, joint winning duo of Professor Shil Ado and Dr. Muhyiddin Oyekunle. And yes, that presentation is on gains in grain yield of released maize. To deliver that presentation, please join me to welcome joint winner. Yes, he is the Senior Research Fellow, Department of Plant Science, Institute for Agricultural Research, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Please make welcome on stage Dr. Muhyiddin Oyekunle. Round of applause for him as he takes the stage. Remember, we'll have questions at the end of his presentation. And yes, whatever questions you have, trust me, the winning duo will be on hand to provide answers to them. Dr. Oyekunle.
Good morning, all protocols duly observed. I will go straight to the day by presenting to you gains in grain yield of released maize cultivars under drought and well-watered condition. Please. So on behalf of the team, Professor Ado and myself, so we'll make the presentation next, please. So this has been introduced, the 2022 Team Award for the Nigerian Prize for Science is Innovations in Sustainable Food Security. And because of this, we felt that we can submit the entry for this award. Next. The outline of my presentation, a brief introduction, then the breeding objectives and strategies, and then the release maize cultivars, the genetic gate study, and then what are the impacts, and then their challenges, and then way forward. Next, please. As we all know, maize is very important and is most widely consumed cereal crop after wheat and it is important for food and then feed for livestock, raw materials for industrial products. Land area for maize production has increased in the last 2 decades from 0.16 to 0.21 million hectares, with increase in production from 0.57 to 0.78. However, the average yield per hectare is still within 2 tons per hectare. Next, please. The savanna agroecologies of the West and Central Africa has potential for maize production due to high solar radiation, low night temperature, low incidence of pests and diseases. However, there are still challenges, and challenges include drought, parasitic weed, low soil fertility due to low cation capacity of our soil, and then the incidence of pests and diseases, most especially the fall armyworm, stem borer. Next, please. The impact of drought, about 15% yield loss has been recorded annually in West and Central Africa due to drought. And drought is severe when at flowering and grain filling. And it has also been observed that when drought coincides with flowerings and grain filling, it reduces the yield by 50 and 21% respectively. And we can also have yield loss as a result of drought up to 90% if drought occur a few days to lastly. Next. What are the strategies used in developing drought tolerance? There are 2 mechanisms. One, through escape, and then the development of drought cultivars that possess drought-tolerant genes. Next, please. The impact of striga. Up to 100% yield loss has been recorded in farmers' field as a result of striga, and then about 7 billion tons has been reported the loss due to striga. And the best way to address striga problem is to develop striga-resistant maize cultivars. Next, please. Again, insect pests. So about 46% yield loss has also been recorded in the growing area. 60% of our farmland infested with the stem borers as well as fall armyworm. And up to 60% yield loss has also been reported. And again, the insect pests cost about 25% worldwide, with the pests ranging from the feed pest to storage pest. Next, please. So what are our breeding strategies? To develop productive lines, synthetic varieties as well as hybrids, with yield increase under multiple stresses, and then to develop nutrient-enriched maize germplasm, and then to evaluate different germplasm in multi-location, and then to register and release maize varieties for cultivation. And not only that, also to maintain and then increase the seed of release products. Next. Our strategies include the germplasm collection, selection, hybridization, evaluation of both varieties and hybrids, the pedigree breeding, development of characterization of lines, as well as population improvement. In conventional breeding, the basic idea is to cross good by good, and in this case, we have a promising line that is good in almost all attributes except maybe one. And you find another attribute that is missing in another material, like for example, a white type, then we try to move that gene by crossing the two. So when you do that, the new product will have combination of both genes. But in order to eliminate the undesirable trait in the white type, then we do several back crossing. Next, please. how do we cross? The basic techniques we use is pollination. And what is pollination? It's just transfer of pollen grains from hunters to of a flower. Next, please. So these are steps involved. You have to protect the shoot, okay, to avoid contamination before the seed emerge. And then you also need to bag the tassel, also to prevent contamination. And after the pollination has been done, then it must be well protected. Next, please. So these are basically 9 steps involved in pollination. Next, please. So once you develop product, then how do we register and release this product? So there are procedures that need to be followed. First is identification of cultivars or development of that cultivars. And then you need to test this product in on station. After that, you need to also evaluate the product in a multiple environment, in a target agroecology for 2 years in at least 10 sites. That means 10 locations. Then after that has been done, the on-farm trial, farmers need to also evaluate the products. And during this process, the members of Variety Release Committee must visit the field and interact with farmers to look at the perspectives of farmers concerning that particular variety. And then, once that is done, nominate the variety to the National Variety Release. Let's go back to the National Variety Release. And the National Variety Release, a sub-technical committee will look at the submission and recommend to the National Variety Release Committee for either approval or rejection. And this process takes a minimum of 2 to 3 years. Next, please. So the site used for our testing, we have the Northern Guinea Savannah, the Southern Guinea Savannah, Sudan Transition Forest Zone, as well as Sudan Savannah. Next, please. These are photos from the visit of members of the National Variety Release Committee. Next. Yeah, what are the classes of maize? So based on the structure and shape of maize, we have what is called a dent. Okay, you can see dent, we have flint. And then in terms of maturity, we have extra early, intermediate, and then late. So for the extra early, it matures between 80 to 85 days. These are designed in order to meet different agroecologies that we have in the country. Next, please. Types of maize we also have based on the constitution of the product. We have what is called open pollinated varieties, and then we also have hybrid. For varieties, we have synthetic, composite, and landrace. But for hybrid, we have single cross, double cross, top cross, and then three-way cross hybrid. Next, please. Our product profile. We have quality protein maize, KPM. And this product has high levels of lysine and tryptophan. And these are two among the most essential amino acids. And when you compare this with the normal maize, the level of lysine and tryptophan is double of that of the normal maize. And this is very important as food for monogastric animals, and it also enhances nutrition as well as prevents kwashiorkor. For the provitamin A maize, it has high level of carotenoid content, and then it is enhanced growth, vision, reproduction, as well as the immune system of the body. And the estimated average consumption for provitamin A maize is 15 micrograms per gram dry weight. And also, we have also targeted the climate resilience based in terms of high yielding, drought tolerant, low nitrogen tolerant, and then striga resistant products. Next, please. So, in the picture here shows the quality protein maize that has been developed and released. Okay, so we have the year of release, then the maturity group, the potential yield, as well as the characteristics of the products are all listed here. Next, please. Likewise, the pro-vitamin A maize, we also have a number of products that has also been developed and released. With the level of pro-vitamin A content, started from the low level up to the high level. Now we have met the estimated average requirement of 15 microgram per gram dry matter, and here we have 16.3 gram microgram per gram dry matter. Next, please. We also have the climate resilience cultivars. So, and then you can look at the year of release, the potential yield, and these products are drought tolerant, striker resistant, and low nitrogen tolerant. Next, please. Now, gains in of release maize cultivars. Next. Why gains in grain yield? I have scientists and the ITA have developed several products, and these products were developed and registered for commercialization in the country by farmers over years. And the gain study is actually provides opportunity for us to be able to compare the old varieties, those that are developed earlier, with the new product that is coming from our program. So, and little or no information on this, on the available, little information is available on the genetic gain to look at what progress are we making under the breeding program. And this information will definitely help us to design or to modify appropriate breeding techniques or improving maize cultivars that will be released to farmers. Next. So the objective was to assess the genetic gains in grain yield of other agronomic traits of released maize varieties from 2001 to 2016. And then also to look at the relationship between the grain yield and other relevant traits. Next, please. So in the study, a total of 24 varieties were tested, and year of reference from 2001. So we're looking at varieties developed within 16 years for this study. Next, please. And the 23 varieties released plus one check were evaluated under droughts and optimum conditions, that is well watered, and then were evaluated at Zaria and Kadawa in 2015 through 2016 and 2017 dry season. So when you are conducting drought, that has to be done during the dry season, and using the appropriate experimental design, lattice design, and all standard agronomic procedures were followed. Next, please. Data collected from the study are all listed here, grain yield and other relevant traits. Next, please. And data collected was subjected to analysis of variance, regression, as well as correlation analysis. Next. Next. So, from the result, we observed that both environment cultivars and the cultivar by environment interaction were significant for grain yield and other few other traits. Next. Table 2 shows the performance of the cultivars under both drought and well watered, with yield reduction ranging from 8 to 41% as a result of drought. Next, please. Looking at the performance of the varieties, observe that SAMAS 51 this was the latest at that time, was the highest yielding under well-watered, while Summers 19 was the highest yielding under drought stress. Next, please. They're looking at the correlation analysis. Grain yield was found to be correlated with other agronomic traits under both drought and well-watered conditions. Next, please. We try to look at the regress, the performance under drought and well-water to see which one can we actually use to predict which one. So we observe that it is better to predict performance under drought, performance under well-water based on the performance under drought condition with 0.8 coefficient of next, please. Then looking at the gain itself, this is a regression. We try to regress the years of release to the performance of the products. And under drought, we observed that there was an increment over years for both drought and well-watered, and then with coefficient of regression coefficient of 50, indicating that we are making gain of 50 kilogram per year, 50 kilogram per hectare per year. Then under well-watered, approximately 70 kilogram per hectare per year. Next, please. So these tables shows the gains in grain yield and other traits. Like you can see, with the genetic gain of 1.3 under both drought and well-watered condition. And this gain is highly appreciable and far above what has been reported in the literature. Next, please. So, Summers 48, this is the pictorial representative of the Summers 48. Next. Next. This is Summers 51. Next. Not only varieties, we have also developed hybrids, and you can see the year of release, the potential yield, and the attributes. We have quality protein, we have pro-vitamin A, we have drought-tolerant and striker-resistant varieties. However, only few of these hybrids have been commercialized. So we need to actually promote these hybrids for commercialization in the country. And we're only not releasing, but we're also ensuring that we deploy these varieties to farmers. Please go back to previous slide. So from 2019 to 2021, so you can see the breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seed that was produced. So without breeder seed, there will be nothing like foundation seed and certified seed. So we produce breeder seed 7.2, 4.5, 8.1. When you compare it with the foundation seed and the certified seed, because the product of breeder seed is what is called foundation seed. And one foundation seed also give birth to a certified seed. So we need to scale up the production of the early generation seed, most especially the breeder and foundation seed, so that farmers can get enough quality seed, certified seed for production. Next, please. This is the distribution of the maize produced, the certified seeds produced in Nigeria. We try to keep the record and see how these products are being utilized by farmers. So this is the trend, and the newly, you can see Summers 51 is there. So because it's released recently, so the awareness, we need to create more awareness so that farmers can take the new product. The same trend was also observed in 2021. Summers 15 was the highest, and then 51, which is giving about 8.5 tons per hectare, is still there. So, but gradually, farmers are getting to know about this product. Next, please. Yeah, we are also not doing that alone. We are also trying to also promote the pro-vitamin A component. So these are pictures taken from the feed days where we are trying to promote pro-vitamin A. And this is courtesy of Harvest Plus of IITA. I'm happy Dr. Menki is also here. So he has been really supporting us in developing and releasing the pro-vitamin A maize, as well as other products. Next, please. What are the impacts of this study? One, our studies have also contributed significantly to the body of knowledge in breeding for drought-tolerant maize, and with the development of extra-hilly and hilly varieties, that has also led to the expansion of maize to marginal rainforest areas like Sahel, Sudan, Savannah. And then with the availability of hybrid, the maize production per unit area has also increased, okay, thereby leading to the increase in income to farmers and improving their livelihood. With the increase in the number of variety released, a number of seed companies, both medium and small-scale seed companies, have emerged. Currently, we have almost 500 seed companies in the country, and that's creating job opportunities for the Nigerian youth. And most of these companies, the number one product is maize. The pro-vitamin A and the quality protein maize variety developed have also contributed significantly to the alleviation of malnutrition, most especially among the women and children. And then the extra early and early, even in the peri-urban, also allow farmers to get premium price and also filling the hunger gap between July and August when food reserve has been depleted. Then the pro-vitamin A also reduce the importation of maize as raw materials, okay? And then the quality protein maize has also been used by diabetics, as well as to boost the egg production in the poultry industry. And lastly, the varieties developed enhance household food production, is smoothing the availabilities of maize, as well as mitigate the effects of climate change, disease, and pest. Next, please. What are the challenges? We have few challenges: insufficient funds for research. The cultivar developed mainly based on the conventional breeding. We need to utilize the modern techniques, molecular tools. Then the low rate of adoption of hybrids by companies, limited availabilities of quality early generation seed, the inadequate modern phenotyping facilities, as well as insecurity. So what are the possible way out? One, the government to fund research adequately. Then the industry and hedgehogs also need to contribute. Then the use of state-of-art molecular laboratory will also facilitate the gain in grain yield of maize developed. Then the intensification of promotional activities is very important, and then capacity building of the seed companies, as well as backstopping, most especially for hybrid seed production. Then upscaling is very important, generation seed under drought and well-watered condition over a period of 16 years in Nigeria. Next, please. So this is one of the contribution of the awardee to the university. Next, please. I'd like to thank the Maize Improvement Unit, IAR, and then the staff of IITA program, and then the financial support of the Drought-Tolerant Maize for Africa, Stress-Tolerant Maize for Africa, Accelerated Genetic Gain, Harvest Plus Project, and IITA for supporting our work. Then the Institute of Agricultural Research, institute for giving us enabling environment to carry out the work. And we also like to appreciate the Nigerian NLG for sponsoring this Nigerian Prize for Science Award. And lastly, we also like to thank the chairman of the advisory board for Nigerian Prize for Science for finding our work worthy of winning this prestigious award. We thank you all. The organizer for this program, we thank you for the recognition you have given our work. Thank you so much for listening.
Very, very insightful presentation. All right, we'll take questions. We'll take questions. That's many, many years of hard work, hard and intensive work and research. All right, but it's good to see that, yes, it has produced desirable results. So questions, if you have any questions, please signify by raising your hand. The gentleman over there, any other questions, quickly, so we can have all those questions in one fell swoop? Yes. Prof, please join in on the stage. Thank you. As usual, short and straight to the point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Dapo Olakule. I'm representing the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture, Lagos State. And first of all, I want to appreciate NLNG for recognizing grains, because there is serious politics in grains in the world. And when you look at maize, there is pressure on maize, the livestock and human. As we are using it for livestock feeds, we are also using it we are also consuming it. So the pressure is always on maize. Most of the time, we don't pay much attention on it. So I want to thank NLNG for recognizing this particular one. It's a very good one, because little do we know that anything that happens on maize has direct impact on the poultry. So this is a very good work, and once again, congratulate the NLNG for bringing this before. For the researchers, I also want to congratulate you. I have some questions which I will go directly into. I don't know whether you have the result of this research study has any connection with IARLS, that is extension research. I know it's in APU, but in your presentation, I don't see any connection. Because whatever we do without connecting with the extension arm, the result is not getting to the farmers there. And we know most of the maize we produce being produced by the small scale holders, which they need to have access to this type of result so that they will know the particular variety that is relevant to their agroecological condition. Again, I want to also assume that the varieties that you have worked on is part of about 160 maize variety that has been released so far. I want to assume that they are part of it. And if they are part of those about 160, what are we doing? Is the research touching other varieties too? That is 160 minus 15 or so that you have worked on. What is happening to other varieties? Because when talking about climate change now, the drought is not a location specific. It can happen anywhere in the country. So I don't know whether you captured it along, whether you do some work in looking at other existing varieties. There may be some things that are good in them too. Then, I don't know whether you take into consideration that most of our farmers, once they have certified seed, instead of going back to the foundation seed to buy, they used to plant what that they are planted. That is what they plant again, which will naturally bring down the yield and will reduce the quality of what they are planting. I don't know whether this research captured that particular problem that we may see why on the field. Those are my questions.
All right, thank you for asking questions on our behalf, sir. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you. Please keep it very short. All right.
Prof, congratulations once again. My name is John Bede Antonio. I'm a son of a professor farmer. I just want to know, what is the yield that you have for your current study per hectare, per ton, per year, vis-a-vis what is existing? Right now, I think we can get between 1.5 to 3 tons per hectare. What's your current yield, sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Final call. All right, we'll take 2 more and that will be it. That gentleman, please go ahead, sir. Then the gentleman over there. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. My name is Ababa Mankar, a leader of the Maize Improvement Program at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. I have worked very closely with this, Prof. Ado and Muhyiddin. I would like to say a few things related to what they have achieved, because they have been really modest in terms of not highlighting some of the major achievements they have made in the country. Both Prof. Ado and Muhyiddin have displayed extraordinary leadership quality in putting the team together in Nigeria, which involved multiple disciplines and multiple institutions that have contributed, to the success of what they have presented. In fact, these 2 scientists have been instrumental in engaging the private sector and other seed producers to bring new maize varieties to farming communities. As a result of this, the multiple stress resilient maize varieties and nutritious maize varieties have gone to the doorsteps of farmers in Nigeria. And this has made Nigeria the second largest maize producer in Africa, and the 14th largest maize producer in the world in 2021. So I would like to congratulate these 2 scientists for their monumental contribution and for achieving this award. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The gentleman who was supposed to ask the final question has graciously written his questions on this sheet of paper. So at this point, we'll take responses.
Okay, thank you very much. We are standing on the existing protocol which has been established, but I would like to crave your indulgence to once more inform that the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is extending his greetings, and he had wanted to personally be present along with the Executive Director for the Institute for Agricultural Research. Unfortunately, for some reason, they are unable to be present. However, the Deputy Director of the Institute for Agricultural Research of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is here to represent the institutions. So, Professor Ado, you can please, this is our Deputy Director, please. Thank you very much. Now, on the first question, the representative of the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Agriculture, Lagos State, has complimented our findings and has some questions. For example, are we in touch with the National Agricultural Extension and Research License Services, the NARLS, I will say yes. However, our work is on the variety improvement. These varieties have been improved. They have been officially recognized by being registered in the National Crop Variety Registration Catalog, and the extension people are expected now to take over and extend to the farmers. They are aware of these new varieties, and work is already going on. In fact, even before the registration, some extension activities had been carried out, because when you go to the on-farm testing, under the on-farm testing, farmers, it is a sort of extension itself, because farmers are made to see clearly in their own fields the performance of the proposed new varieties and the varieties they are used to producing. So NRLS, we are in touch with them. National Agricultural Seed Council, which is also the other national organ responsible for the dissemination of varieties through seed companies and others, we are also in touch with them. In fact, any new variety which has been officially registered by the National Committee on Registration and Release of Crop Varieties, some kilograms of seed, up to 50 kilograms, had to be delivered to the National Agricultural Seed Councils so that they produce foundation seed and then extend the foundation to the to the production of certified seed, which is grown by the farmers. Apart from that, we also engage or involve seed companies. As it has been said, there are more than 50 different seed enterprises. And all those seed enterprises are mostly concerned with maize production. Most of them, they all include maize in their chain of products. So we are doing our best to extend what has been officially registered and released for the production by farmers. And the released varieties, you mentioned there were old varieties. Yes, any new variety must have an improvement in at least one aspect over the previous ones. And that improvement can be in terms of the yield, in terms of quality, in terms of disease resistance, in terms of earliness, in terms of provitamin A, in terms of quality protein. It has to have a trait which is not in the other ones. So we are aware of them, and those germplasm materials are still being maintained because they still have some genes which are usable and which can be utilized in future improvements. Then farmers, like you have rightly said, a lot of farmers would prefer to grow, when they purchase seed, they would want to continue using it over and over. That is why open pollinated varieties were developed. And the open pollinating varieties tend to have more stability over years from the same seed. However, the performance of seed varieties is better and higher, and many farmers are now realizing the importance of the hybrid varieties, in which every year you have to buy the seed, and many of them are patronizing the seed companies because most of the hybrids have been traded by the seed companies. So the enlightened farmers, most of them prefer to buy the hybrid, and it pays off. The difference in price pays much higher dividends than using the open pollinated ones. From our study, you ask about the yields. The potential yields have been given for its individual varieties. And by potential yield, it means a yield which has been realized in at least one location over the various location testing environments, which he has mentioned in different ecologies. Northern Guinea savanna, Southern Guinea savanna, Sahel savanna, Southern forest zone, etc. So the potential yield will show the highest yield attained in at least one of the locations. The average yield is what is more important generally. And even from the average yield, it has been mentioned, FAO has mentioned, by now the average yield is about 2 tons. But in the first 2 decades, the yield was less than 1 ton. So it has more than doubled even the average yield. Then Dr. Menkir, yes, thank you very much. I had wanted to specially introduce you because Dr. Abebe Menkir has been with the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, in the maize breeding unit. And most of the varieties which had been released in Nigeria have been developed mainly from his breeding nursery or in collaboration with us. So thank you, sir, and we appreciate you are coming to participate at this meeting. So the last question I have is, has it been peer reviewed, our papers? Yes, the paper had been peer reviewed by Cambridge, Experimental Agriculture based in Cambridge University. It has been peer reviewed and it was published, and if you check, you can get the detailed reference. How can I get the paper? Dr. Ekwila, I think you respond, continue.
Okay, we can send you the paper. And then the issue of PLS, every year we demonstrate, okay, they showcase the products in at least 6 states. But due to the limited funds for the activity, so we are restricted. But we are working closely with them in terms of promotion, activities, audiovisual, literature, so many things. We are working hand in hand with them. So they have been part of the project, so we are working together. Then the publication is available, give it to you, and not only for gains in gain yield, and other from publications that was submitted to support the award. Yeah, I think Prof has done justice, except the current potential yield. We have 8.5 tons, 0.5 tons per hectare. Yes, 0.5 tons per hectare. And you can get that from SAMAS 51. So thank you so much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the winning duo of Professor of Genetics and Breeding, former Vice Chancellor of Kalami University, Katsina, Professor Sheo Ado, and Senior Research Fellow, Department of Plant Science, Institute for Agricultural Research, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Dr. Muhyiddin Oyekunle. Thank you very much, sirs, for that very, very insightful presentations. I trust that, yes, the answers to the questions raised have been very, very adequate. Our winners will still be around, so there's still room for intimate interactions with them once we wrap up the formal proceedings. Moving very, very quickly, please join me to welcome the Acting Manager, Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Nigeria LNG Limited, NLNG, and Marie Palma-Ikugu for our closing remarks. Round of applause for her as she takes the stage.
Thank you. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please permit me again to stand on the existing protocol established at the start of the event. I would like to say thank you for being part of this awesome and insightful session. I'm sure we've all found it very, very useful. Nigeria LNG has lived up to its commitments expressed in its vision, especially through its numerous CSR initiatives, of which the Nigeria Prize for Science is one. And of course, we also have the Nigeria Prize for Literature. Taking its commitment to a higher level, NLNG is using this special event to push for investors' interests in financing and partnering with the use of the scientific researches that the Science Prize celebrates through partnership with these scientists that just presented this morning. The research work in view today is a very critical issue. We've all heard about it in our earth today, especially in our nation, Nigeria. It's a conversation that touches our survival and sustainability. And I know you would agree with me that without food security, we'll continue to struggle with the fight against poverty and with the development of our dear country. So even though we'll be calling for the entries for the 2023 cycle, which is on innovation in health therapy, we'll be calling for the entries from this weekend. We implore you to please continue to engage with the winners, the prize winners that I've just presented, and to see how we can scale up and actually bring all this work into reality for the benefit of us all. So although we have just started, from conversations, we already see that, yes, some people are already very interested in the works that have been shared with us this morning. And I know that we'll all see it come to light. So we all would like to say, please, at the end of this session, they are not in a hurry, they are here. They've come all the way from Zaria and Akure. Let's try and engage, let's stay back and engage with them. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, thank you very much. We will be having a group photograph right now. Please, the distinguished members of the Advisory Board for Science, please join the Acting Manager, Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, NLNG, on stage. Thank you very much. DG LCCI, please also join them on stage for this group photograph. Head Media Relations, please join them on stage, Mr. Yemi Ademi, for this group photograph. So we have members of the NLNG management on stage with the members of the advisory board. Paparazzi, please, that is your cue. Thank you. Just, where should they stay? Topmost step? Okay, right there. So that will be the first photograph, paparazzi. That is your cue. For the next photograph, hold it. The representative of the Commission of Agriculture, Lagos State, please join them for this group photograph. Thank you very much. All right. Paparazzi, that is your cue. Immediately after now, while you still remain where you are, would have the winners join you on stage for the second photograph. Thank you. Paparazzi, that is your cue. Thank you very much. Paparazzi, we good? All the winners, please join them on stage. Our 4 winners, thank you. Please join them on stage quickly for this group photograph. Once we are done with the vote of thanks, please remain seated. I understand that, yes, your orders for lunch have been taken. Let's have 2 winners on either side. Thank you. So, hostesses will bring in your meals. And yes, that will be a fitting conclusion to this edition of the Interactive Forum with the joint winners of the Nigeria Prize for Science 2022. Paparazzi, that is your cue. Yes, you must have taken like 1,000 pictures already. Choose the best. The best must appear in the papers. All right, thank you very much. A round of applause for them as they go back to their seats. Madam DG LCCI, please do not be in a hurry to take your seat. Please join us on stage for the vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director General, LCCI, Dr. Chinyere Almona, FCA, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 1 o'clock on the dot, and we must bring this to a close. Standing on existing protocol, I really just want to thank everyone for being here. As I sat down here listening to the presentations, it took me back many years ago. I was in primary school when we had the OFN. For those who are advanced, you remember OFN, Operation Feed the Nation, in 1976. And I remembered all the activities and excitement around farming, food security. You know, it was so overwhelming really across the nation. And then I think 5 years later, we kind of shifted gear and changed the name. It was the same program to Green Revolution, for those who remember. Some people are too young to remember, but yes. So we went on to Green Revolution, and the idea was to ensure that we can feed ourselves in this nation, to ensure that in terms of quality and quantity, that we'll get it right with agriculture. So I was really pleased to see this kind of coming back to play. And I want to thank the winners for the effort they have put behind these projects. If you think about it from their presentation, it was clear that they didn't start off doing this saying, oh, LNNG will remember me one day. They put in their efforts, talent, skills, time, everything to get this working, and then they were remembered, they were kind of recognized. So I want to thank you for believing in the cause, you know, and for putting in everything to make sure that it works. It's really, for me, encouraging that we have Nigerians who believe in Nigeria. So please put a round of applause for them. So I thank you. I think the other thing that was very clear to me, and while I listened to them, was how little I knew. You know, you pluck corn and eat the corn, you know, but how little you know that there are so many variants of the corn, and they even have names. It's amazing, you know. I heard about quality protein maize, pro vitamin A maize. I'm like, goodness, you know, how do you identify which one is which? But it just tells you, well done, sirs. It tells me how little we know about the things that we grow and eat. But, you know, we have people like you, professors, who, you know, tell us what it is. So I want to thank you for being here and congratulate you once again. I thank our partners, NLNG, for putting their money where their mouth is. At the Chamber of Commerce, we're here to ensure that businesses thrive. We're here to ensure that there is an enabling business environment for Nigerian businesses to understand what it takes to give back to society, but also to make money from doing that. I think the deputy president who was here earlier talked about the gown and the town meeting, because while you are the think tank, we should then take it off from you and make it work for the rest of the society. So that's why we are here at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We actually have a sectorial group focused on agriculture, because we believe that this is really the backbone of where we want to be in this country. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And I think lunch is served after now, so please don't go away. The food has been paid for. Please sit and eat the food. But thank you so much for being here, and God bless you.
Yes, what we have witnessed on display today is a strong commitment to developing homegrown solutions to local problems. Thank you very much, Nigeria LNG Limited, for indeed putting your money where your mouth is, and for year in, year out, showing demonstrable commitment to the promotion of the application of scientific research and technological breakthroughs to solving problems in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for embracing this opportunity for collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank and appreciate you. It has been a most interesting 2.5 hours or so. And yes, thank you for being a very, very engaging audience. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you very much. All right, please do not be in a hurry to leave. Lunch is ready and will be served shortly. Your orders have been taken. Thank you very much for being here today at the Business Stakeholders Forum. Please ensure that you have lunch. Until we come your way another time, keep doing what you do to support the growth and development of the nation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the sound?
Your family perished as a result of what they brought to the market, and they prepared and they ate. And everybody died because it has poison. We just look at it. Can't we produce this flour in an hygienic, way? Secondly, the blackish nature of plantain flour that makes some people, despite the nutritional value, to run away from it. My partner, that's Dr. Emmanuel Olutomilola, approached me to take up his PhD work. Of course, he has been a colleague in the same department, and I told him if he's willing to work, and we moved on. Of course, he did his PhD on this work.
When I saw this particular project, I was excited about that, seeing that this is going to make a very heavy impact on the society.
This is the plan for processing unripe plantain into flour. The process plant starts with loading of either peeled or unpeeled unripe plantain into the upper here. And from there, the washing session takes it up by conveyor system. And that takes it to the grating session here.
This one is unique in the sense that all the processes that are being in modular form has been brought together to achieve a single goal, and with minimal human intervention.
Money is the major challenge. We got institutional-based research grants that fund 1.6 million. That was not even enough to produce just the rotary drive. And we started looking for, means of sourcing for fund.
Also, collaboration with master's students and money from personal pockets and all of that went into that to be able to make it a reality.
The point we felt that we have found it when the first set of flour came out from the process.
Like we see product moving from one section to the other section and coming out as a desired product.
It was a moment to be remembered.
What the price means to me is more or less like a trigger to do more work.
Some people have done great works that they are discouraged. They are not showcasing. But now that a group is coming out as a messiah to say, you are not forgotten, we want to encourage you in our own little way, I tell you, it will push people to do more.
I was born to a peasant farmer. Since when I was a child, I was dreaming to be a farmer. I believe to be a farmer is something very, very important, because you not only feed yourself, but also you feed others. My work is on the genetic improvement of maize varieties. In the program of variety improvement for maize, we conduct research in a way that new varieties are developed. There are issues of nutritional quality. There are diseases and pests. With the issue of climate change, rampant droughts, all these challenges form part of the objectives of our research to identify genotypes or genetic materials that can withstand these challenges.
Basically, what we do is that we cross good by good. Maybe good in particular varieties is good in one trait, and then another material is also good in another trait. We want to have a complementary product that can combine the two goods into one.
My colleague, Dr. Oyekunle, I actually met him at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. We knew each other because at the IITA he was working in the maize unit.
Now I'm ready for pollination. Just shake it and then remove. So I have my pollen. this is the line I want to pollinate. It does the polling on it. And then somebody is already ready to cover it.
Over